And you could say, well, if they get a mech early up on Darkseer, then it'd be fine. But he's not going to get a mech early up,
right? Exactly.
Unless they did something. Unless they decide to go aggressive here, that could change it. But nope, Admiral Bulldog's going bottom. So
even that would worry me, though.
Yeah.
You know, trying to aggressive into this kind of a combination. Sand King, Shadow Demon, Moran is no joke, man.
Exactly.
Like that is a tough lane.
I'm just trying to think of other ways that they could try to fool Alliance here, or sorry, fool EG. But I think EG's blind up is like amazing. Like I think it's got everything. It's got late game. It's got amazing laning potential. It's got counter push with the Elder Titan. It's got burst, and now also with Elder Titan with his aura with all the AoE coming out from EG. It's just a really, really well balanced lineup from EG. Alliance, there's just fun. I love Silencer's ult, but again, I just think it's a little. You use the word thin a lot, and I think that's a perfect adjective to describe Alliance's lineup here.
Yep. You know, one issue I have with Silencer in particular, just the way the hero works, is he's a snowball-y kind of a carry, you know? Like, he's not a carry who just gets up 2 or 3 items. It's not like, say, a Void or an Anti-Mage, or even a Lone Druid, where it's like, all right, we've got Radiance plus Maelstrom or whatever. Now we're ready to go fight him. We're just going to be hard to deal with unless they're 1,000,000 gold ahead of us. Like, he doesn't really work that way. He's kind of a snowball-y kind of a hero. He naturally really isn't inclined to build items like BKB. Instead, he's more inclined to build items like Orchid, like Hex, etc. But this is not a team where BKBs are a luxury. You have to have it. Like, you're going to have, as a Silencer, a BKB at some point. Otherwise, you're just going to melt to mass magic damage out of Waveform, out of Epicenter, out of even Starfall, etc. And that's only going to be made worse by the Elder Titan pick. So, how they build this and how they tried to not just lane this, but what the overall plan's going to be to get from minute 1 to minute 20, minute 25 is of particular interest. And we can see Alliance maybe trying to get an early lead and get off to as good a start as they could hope for. S4 farming right in his face. Here we go. Ake reveals himself. Poison touch is used. And Arteezy can't more fast enough. Will it be first blood? He started out with a magic stick. Nope. First blood tallied by S4. And maybe you don't get to fool him. Just flat out beat him over the head.
Yeah, did he grab the invis top? I think he did, because if Arteezy knew he grabbed it, then there's no way Arteezy should have been playing like that. But I don't think he saw him grab it. And that was smart, because they looked at Arteezy's HP. Look at 378, so they knew that he morphs all agility, doesn't have the waveform. And you normally never get waveform in a 1v1 situation anyway. It's just not very good. Because you need that damage to be able to last hit. And so they capitalized on it. Nicely played.
Poison touch on Universe. EGM's there with the lift. Here comes Loda. Do they have the damage? Don't think they do at this level. He's got Curse of the Silent. And it's actually last word. That will kill him.
It'll kill him. Yeah.
2-0. And so we spent, what, 5-10 minutes in the draft talking about how much we love EG's lineup and how problematic it was going to be for Alliance. 2-0, minute and a half in. Don't worry. GG, guys. We got it.
Well, it was really nice. I mean, you can't bank on an invis rune every time, so that was really kind of lucky in the sense for Alliance. Oh no! Universe is still in trouble. A lift up, ready. What is he doing? Kind of lifts to the left.
Back into the trees. He's got him again. Maybe not. Maybe not. Never mind. I thought the cooldown on last word was going to be a little shorter. It was actually 3 seconds too long. So either way, Universe having to pull back and having to reassess his life decisions, as this lane is not what he anticipated, I don't think.
Yeah, the one good thing, though, is that when they're trying to go for these kills, Loda's missing a lot of CS. So he's 4-2 right now compared to 11-4 for Mason. And it does make a pretty big difference when your carry is a silencer, and that's pretty much what you're riding on. So it depends on how, again, much like a snowball. And I totally agree with this from Admiral Bulldog. He has no place going bottom lane, so he goes jungle right off the bat. And I think that's a really smart decision.
And he's doing it quite fine. I mean, he's level 3.
He is doing well.
And yeah, I mean, juggling the Darkseer, it's a little slow and clunky, and, you know, it's a little bizarre because you run up and you get, like, the best of the best end up getting themselves down to 50 HP or less and just really, really cutting the line thin. Just so they can maximize their XP and their gold, in particular until the Soul Ring comes out. Now that he has his Soul Ring out, though, prior to 3 minutes, he could just do whatever he wants in the jungle. He'll have a much better chance to go into lane at bottom if he wants to. But EG is also doing quite well on their supports. They're completely uncontested, so they're just stacking the jungle camps. We can see Zai getting some XP from the pulls. He's already up to level 3.5 as well, so he's virtually the same level as the dog.
And he is going more points in his Sandstorm right now, and this is smart. They know that there's no way that they can kill anybody at this point, and they're just trying to maximize as much farm as possible.
Yep.
So early blink on Sand King, if he just continues to jungle like this, he'll have it around 9 minutes or so, which is very, very good for EG's team. Very, very good.
This is so smart, man. Like you said, placing that second point in the Sandstorm instead of Burrow Strike. If you've ever messed around with it, you can actually get Blink and Arc Boots up ridiculously fast on a jungling Sand King. The problem is getting from levels 1 to 3. But now that he's level 3 at 3 minutes in, and we can see Universe actually being zoned completely off of his tower at top. Getting from 1 to 3 is the issue on a jungling Sand King. Now that he's level 3 and he's getting stack help, he's going to find his gold and his levels remarkably fast, and we'll continue to keep an eye on that. For now, though, Alliance just trying to keep Universe off and trying to get some damage done, but this is where the Astral Spear comes into play. That is, even at this level, a fair amount of anti-push.
Yep, I see them top just trying like crazy to keep Universe out, but they don't really have much push. I was going to mention that too, is that last game with their core being an int, and Pugna, they also had lots of good push, but Silencer offers really nothing to push, so it's going to take them a long time to get that tower down, as it seems like they spent a lot of time past the tower, but it's only taken about 250 HP off of it. So nice job by Zai. He was able to snipe out the Invisrune bottom from Batrider, who had a haste and was running down there, trucking down there trying to get it, but Zai snipes it out. I wouldn't even be surprised if Zai, after he stacks this and gets level 5, to put a third point into Sandstorm. Wouldn't be surprised, just to up his farm. And again, if he just keeps doing this, he'll have a blink in about 5 minutes or so.
I don't think he needs to, though. Like, level 2 Sandstorm, you can clear a camp that's stacked 4 or 5 times, even with a Satyr in it. Like, it's really not that hard. And I think, you know, just getting the range on Burrow Strike, I think is going to be more important, because they're going to know. I mean, when you look at, you know, Alliance's best chance is take the lead that they've generated so far, which, to be honest, is marginal at best. And yes, I mean, it's 1,000 efficiency gold lead, which is not bad, given not a single tower is down. But they're just going to be able to really take it to them, especially if they can begin to meet them head on before S4 gets a Blink dagger up. I think Blink on S4 is much more important than a Blink on the Sand King in this case.
It is important for the sense that Alliance need it way more than EG needs a blink on SK. Like,
exactly.
EG has other ways to win and get back into the game, but Alliance, like, yeah, I agree. They really need like core items up fast, but that's like the only really real core item for Alliance, I feel. Other than the mech on Darkseer, everything else is just kind of like a wish-wash for Alliance. It's just kind of like, hopefully we win team fights. I think that they're kind of experimenting with this. I don't want to bring it up because it's not, you know, it's not over just yet, but they don't have exactly the best standing in D2L right now, and they know that. Yeah. And I think they're kind of experimenting and trying things out. So,
yep. And now's the time. I mean, and basically, I mean, the oh, nice lane break. Is that going to allow S4 to get there? Nope. He did get it. It was actually so close. I had to check inventories to see. So S4 did manage to get the regen. A little bit of a win there. In the meantime, Alliance has begun to break down the laning phase a bit, as we can see Loda now left by himself. This is a good call, I think. Solo experience for Loda gives him the best possible chance on a hero like Silencer to begin to get into snowball mode, get him a few levels ahead, and hope he gets kills and gets more and more levels ahead, especially with the int gain that comes associated with the kills via just his innate character function. And Alliance, right now, it seems like they're kind of happy with the status quo, and I'm a little surprised with that, really. Taking a look at the CS, we can see they are winning an overall CS, with S4 actually being dominant mid. 43 for him, 40 for Loda out of top lane. Close, though, is Mason and Arteezy. Arteezy at 35, 39 for Mason's Mirana.
This is going to be a 7.5 minute blink on SK. That is so scary. Yep. He's
so
level
fast,
6. He'll be level 7 after this camp, too. So he'll be level 7 at 7 minutes, roughly, with a blink and an epi ready to go. Like, that is so devastating, and not to mention, it's going to catch Alliance off guard. Like, even if they suspect, oh, Sand King's jungling, this is so freaking early, it's definitely going to catch them off guard.
And the thing is, it's hard to deal with, because, you know, it's a jungling Sand King, so it's not like he's not going to have Sandstorm. Hang on, there's a silence, and Arteezy is in trouble. S4 right there with him. We'll spin the lasso. We saw Arteezy use his wand charges, but in the end, it just doesn't matter, as Alliance, off the back of Lotus silence, able to get that kill. Now, this is where I think Alliance is doing exactly what their #1 option is. trying to team fight even at this level. That's what we were both so concerned about, is trying to meet EG head on. So the hell with that. They're not even trying. They're just trying to get marginal wins. Pick off Arteezy a few times. Slow down his item progression. Put him in the position he was in last game, which you had a chance to win, where he went BKB first and was really out of his comfort zone in that. And if they continue to do this, I think they're going to have a pretty solid chance. Still really like EG's lineup in the mid game, though.
Here comes a pot of multi here as they're trying to initiate onto Loda. They have a blink on SK. Loda's dead. He's dead.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
And that's just the beginning, man. Like, I don't know. I don't think Alliance is really going to have the tools with Loda being able to die like that this fast with a blink early on. Like you mentioned, it's going to have to be the blink on Bat, and he does have it flying out to him right now. But again, at least last game when they had the Pugna, they had two things. One, they could push really fast, which they did in immense fashion. Like, they pushed so freaking fast. And they also had the backbone of a carry of Admiral Bulldog, but he didn't go so much of a carry build as more of a mid-item centric build. But this game, no, they don't have that. It's kind of like initiation with Bat, and then a very, very thin carry of Silencer, who's very, very squishy. So, yeah, again, I think the Alliance is kind of feeling things out and having some fun.
Yep, Midas to pick up on Loda even, so what item development he was going to have, even that slowed down at least temporarily. And this is a game that I think, honestly, I'm not saying it will, it has the potential to be over by 20 minutes in, though. Whenever you go something like a Midas on a very squishy silencer carry to begin with, EG takes 2 or 3 wins, starts clearing towers, and starts shutting down your jungle. I don't know what you do if you're Alliance. Like, you just don't have the firepower to go against this EG team if they get too far ahead item-wise and they start to feel too survivable. And the whole time, Mason is staying right on par in CS. Mason has something on the way out to him. It will be a... yeah,
magic stick.
Yep, magic stick. So thought it was going to be more than that, to be honest. I was expecting something like drums, but not quite yet. Still 10 minutes in. He's farming, but not farming that well.
He's farming as well as he should and as well as he can.
Yeah.
But I actually think like Silencer has to go Midas in this situation because they need him to get super fat in order to actually win these team fights early on in the mid game. Again, his ultimate's very, very effective, especially against Sand King and even the Morphling, but wait and see. I would love to be impressed by Alliance. It could be very, very fun to just watch them win this and take this and snowball from the mid game, but I'm skeptical, to say the least.
I agree with you. The EG's draft's just better. You know, and again, Alliance has their tools, and they've done a great job early, 3 to 1, and taking a look at, I mean, we finally saw a tower brought down by Alliance, so their gold lead is going up. This is where they can, this is as good as they can hope to be. I mean, they're at a 3,000 gold lead right now, moving past 10 minutes in. EG's experience lead is marginal at best, so it's just a matter of how they put it all together. Taking a look at the item progression across the board, Mech is done on Bulldog. Now, here's a question for you. Is it time to go fight and try to 5-man, or do you continue to just try to carve the map up with small skirmishes and pickoffs?
Well, especially with the items you just picked up, Blink, you have ulti from Silencer, now Mech, yeah, you need to go fight. And it doesn't mean you have to keep fighting like you saw last game, like they push a tower and then everyone go mid, march mid with a train, and then just fight. I think you just fight when your ultis are up, take a tower, spread out, and then try to farm after that. But I don't think they can afford to just sit as 5 and just keep pushing towers. They're going to lose experience.
Yep. Arteezy going to be lassoed back, and there's going to be the silence. No follow-up, though. Wall went down. Can they catch him? He's morphing into strength as quick as he can and able to replicate out. And here we go. PPD's there. Arrows on the mark. Catches EG, and the leap in. Starfall's going to be there. Ake graves himself, and that should be enough to buy him and his teammates time. PPD throwing what shadow poison he can. But EG is now in pursuit. There's the blink from the bat. And Zai's able to catch him. He doesn't have Firefly. There's going to be an Earth Splitter, but a well-placed and well-timed haste. It's picked up by Loda, and the surge from Darkseer got him to safety. So all told, there was a lot of fireworks, but no one ended up dropping. What did Rubik get? Managed to get Starfall. So we'll see if they're going to keep it up. They're going to go on PPD. Doesn't have lasso up. PPD isolated by himself, disrupts the bat. Slowed down and burning to death. In the meantime, Alliance trying to collapse and will get a kill right in front of the tower. And S4 able to lock that one down. Tier 1 now in mid. The target is EG, decides to go ahead and just split push elsewhere. S4 reacting to Arteezy. And they will end up getting the Tier 1, at least it seems so. However, Arteezy is beginning to really come into his own farm-wise and got the last hit on the tower. Now, S4's got to be careful. They're going to just go toe for toe, and it looks like, nope, never mind. They are going to break up. It looked like Arteezy was willing to trade blow for blow until he could waveform in 3 seconds, but neither really wanting to take the chance. Well, the hell with it. They're still hanging around each other.
Yeah, it's really fun play, just back and forth. And Arteezy, his adaptive strike's only level 1, so it does pretty minimal damage. Oh, arrow comes in, it hits EGM in mid. He could be dead. They're sitting behind him, and here comes a huge Epi.
They're able to bring down real big Bulldog. Gonna be graved by Ake. Ake likely to die because, no, never mind. Trying to catch him uphill. Missed with a couple of auto attacks. Still managed to get him. Curse thrown out, and Loda doing what work he can. Just not seeing the right click they need. And look how tanky SK feels in the face of this right click from Loda right now. And this is the concerns that we had really coming to fruition. Is Loda, I mean, he's doing fine. He's doing great. He's doing what a silencer can. The hero's limitations, though. The damage output just isn't there, and his silence, as amazing as it is just not going to last you forever against a team like this.
It looks like Loda's going to go for a Scepter as his first item after the Midas. He also has a Sage's Mask, too. So I don't know what does it just increase duration? I think that's what it does. You know what? No, it also puts Curse of the Silent on there. It also puts Curse of the Silent automatically on everybody. I forgot about that. I think they changed that not too long ago.
Alliance is continuing to do what we saw them do in game 1, which is largely just go guns forward. And EG is handling it in exactly the same way. Split pushing out. Arteezy's going to be going BKB first for the second game in a row as an Ogre Club. Was his pickup, another 600 gold to have the Mithril Hammer, so you're talking 2 Gs until the BKB is complete. Universe left to his lonesome here in mid to try and keep this tier 1 up. The fact that Alliance had to regroup and reform to bring down that tier 1 is a fairly decent win for them. Now they're going to react to Arteezy. Size there, immediate, Burrow Strike, and the Silent Shoes, and they got to decide what they're going to do. That's a huge number of reactions coming instantly and right on top of each other. Mirana's ulti should secure their retreat, and it will. So even though they were there in mass, unable to catch up with Zai and Arteezy as they scurry away.
Tower is completely deniable, but I think they just want it up there for map control purposes. I know that a lot of teams do that. It is kind of scary because they don't have Glyph up just yet, but EG, they're still winning these engagements. They're using the global silence, they're using cooldowns from Alliance, but they're not getting kills out of it, so that's a big problem for Alliance.
And
actually, Mason taking a ton of damage from Silencer down here, but he's really tanky himself. He has an arrow after he's silenced. Can he get this kill? Misses the arrow, unfortunately. Still might get the kill. And there comes Zai.
I watched that whole engagement. At top, we can see the tower being pushed. And I don't think they're going to be able to bring it down in time. In the meantime, Morphling takes the tower in mid. And look, it just feels like this. It feels like Alliance is out of steam, man. It just feels like they don't have any ammunition in the chamber. And we saw it right there. I mean, Mason and Silencer. Mason, 10 CS less than Silencer. Silencer's been more active, been involved in more fights. And he blew everything on Mason, by the way. Like, he used every ability over and over again, was right-clicking him, and he just doesn't have it. And that's against a Mirana who has Drums, Aquila, and not a whole hell of a lot else. And I don't think Alliance's damage output is going to be sufficient now that we're getting towards 20 minutes. We're 4 minutes out from it, and I feel like EG is just beginning to really outclass them in terms of team fight potential, stuns, and not just damage, but control as well.
Yeah, and they haven't even been really fighting that much with the Elder Titan's Spirit, just when they have 5-5 engagements, and that's not even level 4 yet, like the Natural Order, the Natural Order, I should say, which is going to be up, and he's also building a mech. Universe, he's 300 gold away from a mech, and that's just going to create even more problems for Alliance, so I am curious to see if they start fighting after Ags is completed on Loda. He's almost got it. I'm very curious to see exactly how much damage output that will have with the automatic Curse of the Silent on them.
And EG trying to prevent that as they're beginning to. This is what I was talking about when we first loaded in. You know, you start taking fights, you start getting positional advantages. Now you're choking the jungle out. All the tier 1s are down now for Alliance. Not to be the same true for EG, but you know, they're only going to be able to push so fast. Like, you brought it up earlier, and you're dead on the money. Alliance just doesn't have a ton of push, and they're not going to be able to outpush EG if it's Morphling and Mirana who's leading the push in lane. So they have to make these decisions wisely. Speaking of, there's a mech now, so EG beginning to get up their support items as well.
Yep, S4 has been playing extremely well, but this hero does have its limitations. Very little of them, but you're also reliant on your team's damage. Oh, here comes the Pot multi, as well as the smoke coming out from Alliance, so aggression on both sides.
Alliance smoking down towards mid. We've got 2 under cover of the Priestess of the Moon ultimate. And theirs is going to be expiring right now. Alliance isn't going to be finding anyone at home, as Universe wisely recognizing the map void of anyone from Alliance. And pulling back. He's still hanging near the tower. Oh, he's coming back out. They may be able to get him here. No vision of him. And now they double back into the jungle. They'll be able to hook up with EGM, who spotted a haste rune down in the river. But all this time, guess who's farming? Mason doing his thing up here in top lane. Sand King is farming their jungle. And Arteezy farming the lane. So all of this time wasted now. And Alliance just continuing to give things back. In fact, EG now leads the game for the first time.
Yep, they've been up in experience for most of the time as they're upwards 3,500, but yep, gold is in their favor. They're pushing up top tower, and it's just they're pretty much split pushing now. And now with the BKB completed onto Arteezy, like how are they going to kill him? Like I don't think they have the damage at all. Like they have no real lockdown spells, even with the ultimate coming out from Silencer. Oh, action on the Mason.
Lasso brings him back in. This is a nice reaction from them, and they're going to be able to get at least one valuable kill. S4 is going to end up taking it. But at bottom, Arteezy continues to farm. And, you know, that's the thing. It's awesome that they killed Mason, and it's really the best they could have made of that situation. But that's basically, what, 90 seconds to 120 seconds, if not more, that they basically smoked, went this way, 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 then TP'd and got a kill. And all that time, EG was spread out farming and gaining levels.
Yep. Yeah, they're spreading him thin, man. And Morphling, he's just continuing to get bigger. And the thing is while BKB is not a farming item by any means, it's kind of a farming item in the sense that you can't kill him, which means he can farm more, if that makes any sense.
Right.
So he can just kind of play in these situations where he couldn't play before, and he doesn't have anything to fear. Again, he can take off the ultimate from Silencer. Once he does that, he can always strength gain, and they just have no ways to kill him. They have no real burst until they get like a sheep stick on Loda, but he's not going sheep stick, he's going Ags.
Yep, and unless he's got, well, he may have the whole thing on his courier, and he does. I was going to say it's going to be a really late Ags given the way the game's gone if it's not on the courier, but it is. So Scepter now done, and we'll see if they can put it to use. They're going to need every bit of it. And S4 showing his face here in the face of Arteezy. But unable to really scare him off. S4 will find a DD, though.
Yep, and again, S4, he's been playing really, really well. He's 4-0-0. But again, as this starts to come, I just can't stress the fact that Morphling's going to get giant. And now Epicenter is it's level 2 now for Zai. He just dinged level 11. So, and he's going for what looks like probably a BKB as well. Could go Ags, but again, against Alliance's team, same thing last game, really. You get BKBs, the majority of their damage is magical, and once you mitigate that, what do they have to offer?
Yep, I completely agree with you. And it's hard. Draw me a map, man. Give me a roadmap. Your Alliance. What's the next 20 minutes of this game look like?
I would have said that it needs to be a sheep stick on Silencer. Oh, Epicenter top. It's going to hit Ake.
And able to catch out Ake and clear some creeps in the meantime as they gets one kill, and EGM unable to steal anything from him, even though he was right there in his face. So nice kill there.
Yeah, he went for a safe play too. Like he could have maybe gone for double burrow, but it wouldn't have maybe all the damage output from the Epicenter. Oh, here's a lift.
Bulldogs there, but Burrow Strike, more than enough to get him back to safety. Has his blink dagger, and he will go ahead and blink into the secret shop, EP away. Super safe, and S4 tardy to the party and waves goodbye to the King of the Sands. 5-5. It feels like this game's been a lot more action-packed than it has, but only 10 kills split right down the middle. But at the very least, Alliance, even though they gave the lead up, hang on, there's going to be a lasso on Arteezy down at bottom lane. There's going to be the silence use. He can't wait for him. Is still morphing, though, and will use his BKB, and yeah, now he's gone. It's gone.
How do you kill him? Like, the only way they can ever kill him now at this point with the BKB is, one, he's playing so freaking far up at 50% HP where he's just, like, asking to die, which won't happen because it's Arteezy, he knows what he's doing. Or, two, you have to have a sheep. But even if they have a sheep on Silencer, here's the problem they run into. He can't just run up and sheep him. Like, it's very difficult to do that. The way they have to initiate it is with the Bat Lasso. But once you do that, and you have he can strength gain to begin with. So it's very difficult even with the sheep stick on Silencer. It's got to be almost even on Bat Rider, if anything. But he's not going to get one. Yep. So this is just the draft coming into play, man. Not much more to say about that.
I honestly don't know that he needed a BKB to survive there. I really don't. The BKB
probably not.
I mean, it's like the damage output just isn't even there. But BKB certainly nice to have and nice to play it safe. Loda hiding in the woods, waiting on some help to come. There's going to be the last word tossed out, and media TP. Sand King has a blink. Gonna have to look a long way. Oh, they did actually manage to cancel his TP with the flame break, so that's a nice kill for Alliance. Being able to track them down and punish them for trying to spread the map. In the meantime, though, Arteezy still just doing what he does. 15 seconds on his replicate, and see if he's even going to use it. Yeah, he'll probably farm this out. Knows Alliance will be reacting, but should be able to head elsewhere. Yep, and he's gone. Back to bottom lane.
Yeah, I will say Loda has been farming well, and Arteezy, because he went for the BKB, hasn't been able to get the farm that you want in Morphling, but again, it doesn't matter because he's going to outcarry anything that Alliance has. Also, EGM has a blink, so really good for him. I feel like that's an amazing tool for them to get back in this game, so if you're not killing Arteezy, which they don't have any tools to, it's killing other heroes like Universe down here.
Universe lassoed in. Okay, right there with him. And another bring down. Well done, Alliance. Beginning to hopefully get some momentum under their belt. They're going to need it. And this might just be time for EG to decide to hook up and make them 5-man, because right now, at least for the last few minutes, Alliance is outmaneuvering them. They are going to be smoked into the jungle, though, and they're going to have a chance to catch Loda. Yep, dead.
There's the Epi.
Yep, just to be safe. Why?
I have no idea.
That's actually a huge mistake. Even with the Scepter, the cooldown's very long. And, oh wow, EGM actually got it. I guess maybe that's why. The plan was, yeah, EGM's going to use it.
What a player.
And managed to clean it up. Maybe that's why Loda used it. He knew EGM was in the vicinity and silenced, so the Sand King purposefully could not cast anything else, and EGM would have a chance to swipe it.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was just desperation, like, they're going on me, maybe we can turn him and I don't die, but still kind of a waste in my opinion. But what a player, EGM. That was fantastically played. He's one of the more premier Rubik players, I think. I've seen him play this a number of times, and he fluidly steals spells and uses them quickly, knows exactly what he's getting, and plays accordingly. So very well played by EGM.
Yep, I agree. Kind of the glue of Alliance whenever you talk about just the way the team tends to function. Okay. Now we're going to have Arrow actually dodged very effectively by S4. Now going to be lassoed back. If they can get Arteezy here, it'll be worthwhile. There's the BKB, going to waveform out. And Grave on Aki going to keep him up and fighting. Wall went down. They're going to try to chase down Mason. Mason has leap in 18 seconds, so used it once already, brought down afterwards. Burrow strike from Zai, getting him back to safety. They still managed to lift him there, and he is able to blink away in the meantime. PPD now could be the target. But Zai manages to pull back. Universe, in the meantime, looks to be working on a 4-staff as he tries to farm out bottom lane. But tell you what, Alliance is doing all right. They're still lacking in damage, and we're seeing that play itself out. Those, if they had a little bit more of a robust composition, that would have been a lot of kills there in mid for sure. But they're able to send EG running tail tucked between their legs, and now they're into the Roche pit.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. They can't kill Arteezy. That's still the problem. They're just... It's very, very difficult, if even possible, to kill Arteezy, but they're killing everyone else quite easily. And the good thing is that Arteezy actually isn't farming very fast. He's farming very slowly, actually, compared to what Morphling could if he didn't go BKB first. So I think right now the plan for Alliance is use that ulti on Silencer. Don't let Sand King epi in fights, because that's the bane of them really right now, is Sand King getting huge epis. If they kill off the team of EG with a really nicely placed, or timed, I should say, ulti from Silencer, they could actually take these. They take these fights.
TBD, lassoed and drugged to the high ground. Rest of Alliance is there. Arrow does connect, but it's too little, too late. And taking a look at the overall kills, we can see that Loda is beginning to pile up a little bit of stolen intelligence. He's got 10 now. Not the end of the world, but certainly it's a nice little bonus for them. However, split pushes on as Arteezy, with the help of Zai, are able to bring down the tier 2, and they have to react now, and they are going to go ahead and collapse fully up to top lane. Right decision, wrong decision? Think they could have pressured elsewhere?
No, I don't think they could have. Again, their pushing power is really non-existent. And Zai, he's still sitting behind him. I wonder if they catch him, because he's been doing this a lot. But no, he's blinking out. He knows that something's up as he sees members come out. I really, really love this pickup from Loda, by the way. I hope it's on... I'm hoping he doesn't go for Orchids, and I hope he just goes for the refresher. I think it'd be so effective this game, because I mentioned Sheep is very, very good against Loda, against Arteezy, and it's probably one of the only ways to bring him down. But it's impractical if you really think about it, because you can't really initiate with Loda. It's got to be the Bat Rider, and he can already morph into strength. So that being said, the refresher, you can also use the ulti on top of BKB. Not to mention, what is it going to be like? 14 seconds of duration of global silence. Can you imagine? Not to mention it puts Curse of the Silent on you. So, wow. I hope he gets it, and that would be so freaking fun to watch, man.
Dude, that's like Dota 1 timings, like back whenever like Frostbite lasted for what, like 18 seconds or something like that down at bottom. RTZ caught out. Well, as much as he can be caught out, he'll be fine. Vacuum back, and the TP was shown but not followed through with, just to force Alliance back. I'm so on board with that, by the way.
Such a good pickup. It's such a good pickup here.
Yep. The refresher. I think it's not even that it's a choice. I think it's a necessity, really. Because how else are you going to fight? Like, your damage out, like, the difference that Orchid's going to make is only going to be marginal. Like you said, you can't initiate with him. I think that's probably the most salient point is, what are you going to do? You're going to have someone force staff him into a fight? Like, that's just usually not how that's going to work. Instead, give your team every chance you can to capitalize on every single positional advantage you're able to earn just through good smoke, good rotations, good maneuvering, etc. And it looks like EG knows they're on the way as they've smoked and are sitting into their own tier 2. And we actually see Zai moving elsewhere. Yeah, they are spread out. So it's going to be RTZ doing his thing up in top lane. And they may just sack this tier 2.
Dude, can we see how much time is on the Aegis? Just look. Oh, there we go.
3 minutes. There you go.
All right, thank you, Val.
TY based Ice Frog.
Yep. This is really good. They're gonna get this tower for free bottom. They shouldn't lose the tier 2 mid. I imagine they TP back. Oh, Glyph actually coming up from EG. I don't know why they use that. Maybe just to slow them down to bide some time in mid. But there's a TP back from S4, showing some aggression. They're gonna save the tower. Now they need to be careful bottom. They need to back up.
Echo Stomp
EGM
on the money, and the silence goes off in the meantime. So the follow-up simply just not there. Now that is going to be on cooldown. That's a 2-minute cooldown on that, and you know, that's something we really haven't talked about that I think is a much bigger factor, especially as the game gets later and later and later, is even with the Scepter, silence, or the global silence really is so key, and it is a refresher, by the way. He just finished it, so this is going to be fun to see. But when it's down, you are very susceptible, and EG knows it. Here, like, immediately, they say, okay, lane stable, let's go fight. Because without that, what is Alliance going to do? Load up. Oh, caught with the Burrow Strike. There's a follow-up from RTZ. There's the Sheep showed off, and now he refreshes, uses the silence. BKB has been used, but where's the damage? They don't have it. Bulldog caught in the back with a Sacred Arrow, and the Earth Splitter shot will end up catching EGM. They are all safe, and that's all due to EGM, by the way. Worth mentioning that the reason I'm pretty well convinced the reason that wasn't a total disaster was because EGM managed to swipe Moonlight Shadow from the Mirana. So well played from him, and once again he comes through in the clutch. But now that the refresher's been used, again, it's going to be a little while.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate they're not going to be able to use both ultis from Loda with the Aegis up. But I think that first ulti down bottom was actually really smart, because if you remember last game, where did Alliance fall apart? It was after they pushed the tower and they got caught with their pants down, and he didn't want to have any of that happen again. So he's like, it looks like you kind of are getting initiated on. I don't care. I'm gonna ulti. We just back the F out, and we'll be fine. We'll engage at a different time on our own terms. And unfortunately, like I said, they're not gonna be able to use both ultis, I don't think, with the Aegis, but they'll still have them available. And I'm really excited to see when they actually... It really comes down to the timing. Like, as long as he doesn't get caught without using them.
Oh, EG smoked and running right up mid. Alliance looked like they were ready to move down mid as 5 and suddenly pulling back. And S4 takes the flight. Might have a chance to pop this. RTZ's been spotted. EGM sitting right there with it. We manages to get a lasso behind. That's going to be Zai. Zai will be cleaned up before they can react. Now they come in, though. Beautiful vacuum from Bulldog. Walls there. BKB popped on all sides. Grave was used preemptively on S4. Don't know that he needed it. But another win for Alliance as they continue to extend this game remarkably.
Oh, Sheep.
Yep, Sheep onto RTZ. Finally, they managed to track down the Morphling. And that is a gigantic win for them. They now double up EG. And as we're now past 30 minutes in, they've actually swung the game back into their favor. We're at 3K gold their advantage. Not the biggest for this stage of the game. But to be honest, the fact that they've been bended but not broken against EG's onslaught is remarkable in itself. And they're continuing to play aggressive. Alliance now moving up and looking to threaten the tier 2 mid.
They have double ulti up in 20 seconds. There is no buyback on the Morphling right now. And Zai, he's kind of a useless hero once that ulti comes out. They got sheep now, man. They got answers for Arteezy. Admiral Bulldog has the sheep. He's probably got Blink, I'm guessing, is the next item. Yeah, Blink coming out for him. So Blink plus sheep, one of the best tools in the game from start to finish. It's so good. And they finally have tools. Before with the double ulti loaded, it was tools to just to be able to fight and stay in the game. Now they have tools to actually win the game.
This is truly remarkable. The way that they have managed to make this lineup work in the face of EG, who we both like their draft better, both like their combat potential better, really like the way that the laning phase went for them. But remember, this might be a little bit later in the game than what we saw. They still have to crack the base. And, you know, one thing I think that, you know, they have the bat, and that's unbelievably good initiation. And, of course, the silence and so on. But I do feel like that the Alliance's draft is probably even better at being initiated into rather than initiating a fight themselves. And we're going to have to see if they're able to make this lineup work for them as well as it has defensively whenever they try to push up onto the high ground.
As long as Loaded doesn't get bursted down before he doesn't cast an ultimate. Like, that's the biggest thing. So it needs to be either two things. You have Loda in the front doing damage because he's pretty much their damage dealer. And then you have Dazzle just be completely on point with any kind of graves or anything. But even if you grave him when he's like, you know, red HP, how effective is he going to be even with the popping the ultimate? He needs to be half HP or more. So he's got to be very, very careful about his positioning, even though they have these amazing tools on their team.
Smoke through mid. Alliance denied their own tower, then backed it just for a moment before using the smoke S4 with his chin out in front.
Oh no, Peter's in trouble. He also has a gem. Oh, they don't see him. The smoke hasn't been broken yet. There it is.
Up, it's close, and he's gonna get into the base. Nope, lassoed. And Alliance gets themselves a gem. Maybe there's an echo stomp, and yeah, looks like they're not even gonna react. Was wondering if they were gonna try to do anything off of it. Instead, it's just Sand King, who, for whatever reason, is glitched in my game and is basically sliding along the ground in the sand. Are you seeing that too?
Yeah. It looks like he's constantly channeling Epi or something.
Yeah, no, he's constantly channeling Sandstorm. Mason able to get the tower and leap away. Can they catch him? BKB used. Will immediately TP home, and that's the right call. BKB finally done on Sand King, by the way. So the BKBs are beginning to come out in force, and Mason finally getting up a damage item in the Maelstrom. So, you know, this does have a bit of a familiar feeling to Game 1, where we just saw Alliance kind of rolling over EG. It took them a little longer to get it in gear, but once again, all the momentum on their side for sure right now. But EG's item progression is now hitting that point where it's just going to be tough. The damage is getting there. The survivability is now out on a number of heroes, and they have to really continue to do what they've done well, Alliance I mean, and just split the map up, try to get picks, and try to take secondary objectives off after you're able to catch and punish mistakes.
Yeah, the thing about BKB on Sand King this game is it's not really that effective unless you are getting the jump. Like, you get the jump on someone with an Epi, and then you BKB, and then make sure that your stun after that doesn't get interrupted. But if you're doing that anyway, you're probably winning the fight anyway, which means you don't really need the BKB. Because if Loda ultis and then you BKB afterwards to try to get an Epi, you still have the damage from the Curse of the Silent because it procs now with an Aghanim, so you're going to have to wait 3 seconds anyway. So you're not going to be able to be fast. Not to mention, he still has a refresher. You have to worry about that too. Not to mention the Sheep Stick. Oh, top lane. Oh, EGM is so freaking good. Wow.
Yep, EGM. And in the meantime, Roche ends up dying. So EGM still up and standing and breathing, while Alliance walks away with another Aegis, and they might be ready to start really trying to crack the tier 3, man. And I'll tell you who has really seen a struggle this game has been PPD. Really haven't felt a huge amount of influence from him for the most part. And yeah, it looks like Alliance is ready to just go ahead and in the lockdown this side of the map. Arteezy is spotted, and he's going to be lassoed back. That's going to be his replicant. It just expired as well. He's dead. That is a huge kill. And I am just stunned at how well Alliance has been able to abuse EG with this kind of wonky draft that they showed us. And Silencer is working from the 1 position. We can say that much at least.
I don't know if Loda needed to use an ultimate. I think that's kind of a big mistake. I think they had him 100% without the ultimate, and he doesn't have one available. There is a buyback on Arteezy. He's going to have to buy back here if they want to save his racks. Might choose not to, or they're waiting for Zai to get in position. Here we go.
Here we go. Epicenter going to catch a couple. Loda still up and standing. Behind that, we see the Echo Stomp and the Earth Splitters there. Loda very, very low, has the Aegis, so won't mind seeing it pop. Disruption from PPD. Can they follow it up? Loda will end up losing it to an Adapter Strike, while Ake trying to keep himself and EGM alive. S4 still up on the high ground. Loda and Ake regrouping there, and there's a Burrow Strike uphill. Arteezy helping to clean things up. And deja vu all over again, man. This is what I was just saying. Alliance looked like, you know, they were in the same position in game one, looked like they were unassailable, and then suddenly EG takes 1 or 2 wins, and now they're charging right back down mid lane. Didn't even lose the tier 3 there.
I don't know why Loda ultied. Like, they completely had Morphling there. They chained their Bat Lasso with the Sheep. They had so much damage coming, and he ulted when Arteezy was at like 100 HP or something. Even with the Strength Morph, if it's still going, it's not going to really make a difference. I guess it stops him from wave foring. But I think that ultimate from Loda was a huge mistake. And I think if he had that when he got initiated on, it would have been a one fight for Alliance. So kind of unfortunate there. I really feel like he needed to save that.
Looks like Alliance should be able to keep their buildings up, as Loda's just about to respawn. He'll be back up basically the moment Loda respawns as Silence. And EG will be heading on out. Another Scepter going to be out for Alliance. This time it's going to be on the Rubik, as he's got that completed. That's certainly fun. And I'm really enjoying this draft and the way this is playing out from Alliance. I'm worried for him, man. I'm worried that it's going to be the same story as game one. Arteezy's just going to show up here in about 5 minutes and go, oh yeah, I bought a bunch of stuff. Now I'm going to win. Is that okay?
Well, he didn't get F-Blade right now, so he doesn't have burst potential, unfortunately, against Alliance. So his effectiveness isn't going to be as strong as it was last game. But really, really nice initiation from Zayas. You saw exactly what happened right there. They didn't have they didn't have the second global ready. So exactly what I talked about. He used the FE, he BKBs right after the FE so that his Burrow Strike doesn't get messed up or anything like that. And he was able to get really, really good initiation onto Loda and someone else, I believe. And that really kind of turned the tides. So again, as long as they have double ulti up on Loda, I don't know how EG really wins a fight, so long as Loda doesn't get caught. Like, that's the big if here.
S4's had an amazing game so far. We can see Alliance is taking the Ancients, so just recapping where we stand KD-wise. 6-0 for him, so certainly been the influence they always want their bat to be. 5-4 for Loda, bit of a grab bag up and down, but understandable. Silencer not exactly the most survivable hero in the world. Mason is at 4-3, even though he's farmed well. Has died a few more times than he would have liked. Zai at 3-2, and then after that it kind of falls off. Most notably, though, is Arteezy. And granted, you know, this is his time to farm. You know, 40 minutes is when he's finally, it's, you know, with Arteezy, it's 40-minute no rush most of the time. But he's 1-4 rather. So he's died 4 times and has really been limited about as well as Alliance could have.
Yeah, and to be honest, we actually haven't really seen that much effectiveness from Elder Titan.
Yeah, agreed.
Like specifically Elder Titan as far as getting good stomps, getting good ultis. I'm sure he's had a lot of effectiveness with just his natural order, but like that's it. That's basically it. And he has good counter push, but aside from the minimal counter push and the natural order, I don't think this hero is really doing too much. He does have a BKB now, so that's good for him, but I don't. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Again, you're facing up against double global. Like.
Tier 2, last remaining outer tier tower on the whole map, going to drop right now. Let's see how hard Alliance wants to push this. Looks like as of right now, they're thinking about moving into the base. And hell, S4 is up by the tier 3. So he was looking for a target, didn't find anyone. Rest of EG. Actually, I was going to say in defensive position. That's not even the truth. Now they're all going to come back as Alliance. Looks like they just wanted to force the back from Arteezy and company. And yeah, now they're going to go ahead and leave. Yeah, that was smart. One other thing to note, too, in these team fights is you see that defensive weave is coming out for Dazzle, and that's so strong because, there's, again, EG's whole plan right now is kill Silencer as soon as you can before he casts anything. So as long as you have, as much defensive capabilities on Loda, and he has another 5k, I'm almost wondering if this is like Lincoln's, because he just needs to live at this point, but it's probably going to be Sheep because it's just a better item.
But he's probably saving for Sheep plus buyback. But again, I just can't stress enough, he needs to live in these fights, and I think Alliance just wins. As long as he wins and gets both double ultis off, or both ultis off.
Yep, I agree with you. And I think we're reaching a point where Sheep is going to be unbelievably essential for EG. They have great heroes to hex him out and blow him up in the Morphling and the Mirana in particular, hell, even the Sand King. But they just haven't gone that way with their items yet, and they're really missing that single target lockdown they want and they need so badly just to take him out. Because like you said, if Loda dies without getting a single silence off, it's a lost fight immediately, and it will be a hex, by the way, on him. They're going to smoke and move on into their own jungle, and they may have a chance to catch a couple. Yeah, they may have a chance to catch him out from EG.
PBD's in so much trouble. He's dead again. Easy kill. They have another Sheep as well if they need to use it. They're not killing him for some reason. Okay.
Toying with him, I suppose. EGM is going to spot the sandstorms. Like, yep, right here. And he didn't have a TP. That's a mistake from Zai. Big mistake. Going to burrow strike and try to blink to safety now. He's going to be pursued. And now he'll be able to buy one. BKBs and runs. That's the right call. But shouldn't have been in that position before. It's 150 gold, dude. Or 135 gold. Buy it.
Yep, unfortunately, PBD dies yet again. As you mentioned, oh, here comes an ulti on and an arrow.
Yep.
Global
silence is already used. They're going to lose Bulldog almost certainly, though. Universe, no, he doesn't have the damage. He's able to mech through it, and the follow-up just wasn't there from Mason. Universe could be in trouble here as S4 now chasing him. Moonlight Shadow's used. They have Lasso.
They don't have Gem. The Gem is on EGM, and he's very far away, so they're not going to catch him.
Little wishful thinking there from the dog. Trying to hope maybe get the vacuum onto the high ground. Not the case, so Universe bailed out by Mason. That's going to put Moonlight Shadow on cooldown now, though. And Arteezy is going to clear things up, and S4 right there with him, and S4 did have a lasso, by the way. But unable to catch up with him. Very close call.
Look at S4's game this game, man. 7-0-6.
Yep.
Just been everywhere he needs to be at the perfect time, catching who he needs to, and just constantly being very quick with his spells. Like, I see him, and it's not just like some Bat Riders, it's very difficult to get that lasso off because they changed the, the range a long time ago. And so sometimes people stutter step looking for, he's so fast, man. He clicks so fast. I know he has high APM. I know he does. So he's very fast with it. Just little room for error. Perfect play from him so far this game.
And Alliance is flat out outmaneuvering EG. They have been for a while now. 10-15 minutes. Oh, the Lincolns actually popped the lasso. They could turn this around. Didn't notice the Lincolns, and silence is used. It will be able to get S4. That's 974 gold that goes to Arteezy as well. And that is a huge win, as the Lincolns was completed not even 60 seconds ago. And the lasso wasted on it as it was revealed for the first time. Could not have asked for more if you're EG, and now it looks like they want to try to do something in top lane.
They also don't have Global. They don't have Global from Loda for another 100 seconds. He just refreshed it to use it to try to save him. Bat Rider does have a buyback, I believe, but will that be enough? It is the high ground, and it's very scary trying to push up no matter what team you are. So I don't think that EG will be able to do it, but nonetheless,
I don't think I'd be scared. no Global and no Bat. I don't, I guess they are going to play it safe, but I feel like they could storm this right now.
Loda's pumping out like a truck with every auto attack. It's plus 114 true damage, pure damage from the glaive. So they just got to be very careful. He also has a buyback.
He also has no BKB. And Bat's going to be back up. If there was an opportunity to do something, it's gone now. And I guess maybe just wanting to play it safe, as Arteezy he had enough gold to finish his Blade, and probably just making sure he has buyback as well. He's actually a little short of it for the moment. But Blade is done, and now the Morphling beginning to feel like a Morphling usually does at this stage of the game. Still, if Alliance can keep it up, I feel like the fact that the way that went, like you said, blowing the refresher and the second global silence and losing S4 could have been much worse for them. And now, they spin it on an illusion. Or S4 out. Oh, look at Arteezy replicating in. Here comes the epicenter, and this is a disaster as Bulldog's going to end up dropping. We see EGM got hit with the grave. He's going to be able to TP away. Can they turn it around? No, Arteezy able to buy a little more time for himself. The rest of EG, though, pursuing them out. And they finally managed to bring down Loda. Alliance sees Roshan's up. They forced after the high ground. And buybacks from Morphling and Loda both. That actually was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Very quick reactions and brilliantly played from Arteezy when they lassoed his replicate of Universe. They initiated off of it as he replicated to it. and managed to get a couple of kills, but buyback's been on both sides, and we're back to a stalemate.
Yeah, an unfortunate miss. Oh no, RTZ, he just fought back too! No, Global Silence just came off cooldown. He's dead again. No buyback for 100 seconds. Roshan just spawned 2. They might go for that. Oh no, what a disaster.
Yep, that's RTZ. Wants to farm aggressively at all points of the game.
He can't even farm though, he just bought back.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, what was he doing? I guess experience gain. Buyback, now a huge factor. Like you said, he'd already spent it. And EG smokes right out of the well. Looks like they want to try to get the jump on them. Loda has refresh on call. He got silenced. There's the arrow to follow it. They got to decide what they're going to do. Earth Splitter's there. There's the Burrow Strike. No epicenter, though. BKB's used. Now they're going to try to engage. Global Silence refreshed and used. Turning now on Loda. Loda's very low health. And they do manage to bring him down. S4 is there. Has lasso if he wants to spend it. Doesn't look like the case. It's Echo Stomp there to help buy a little bit of time, at least on Ake. S4 had his BKB up. And here's the Epi. And turning this around. Can he steal it? No, he can't. Not yet. But they're going to be able to get Zai. Force Staff disjointing things a little bit. Lane break, not enough to kill him. And let's see. Oh, he actually did track him down. Big play from EGM as he blinks and Burrow strikes to kill Zai off and force another buyback. An absolute slugfest right now out of these two teams, as EG was about as brilliant there as you could ask them to be. And they not only keep their tower, their racks up, but they keep the tower standing as well.
That was kind of an awkward situation. Their silencer got caught, and then he got arrowed afterwards. And the Force Staffs just came, I think, kind of late from Alliance, but he was facing in a very awkward position. It was like upwards towards the left. So they were kind of reluctant to force him. They forced him actually as the Burrow Strike came out from Zai, but nonetheless, Loda does get taken out. Arteezy was taken out before that, and it's a matter of now, with these two cores getting taken out, how much do the rest of the team have to offer? And honestly, all of them have a lot to offer. You saw EGM just making big plays there, as he has been all game 2-1 and 10, but doesn't really do justice of just as how well he has been playing this game.
Now the target. Mason Zero connects. Let's see how quickly they can bring it down. Alliance is in position here. Okay, Force Staffs forward. Gets a ward down. They're going to know this is going on. There's the weave. Now they should probably get out of here. Yep, we're going to have a lasso now on the Universe. He's lassoed back. BKB was spit for this. And here comes Arteezy up to try and save his buddy. Now, Burrow Strike caught to. BKB is used. Here comes the rest of EG going up. There's a grave on the Bulldog to keep him alive. Disruption caught EGM, but the follow-up isn't there. Bulldog will finally be picked off. They're chasing him all the way back to the tier 3s. And there's going to be the Epi. Catches Ake and EGM both. Damage is there for both sides. There's another grave from Ake. Mason turns targets, and Mason may have overextended here. Has to run, and they may be able to punish him. And he will, yes, end up dying to the last word. So an over pursuit from EG, even though it looked like they were going to be able to chase them back under the tier 3 and back to the well. They over pursue and lose 3, and now this looks to be Alliance's Roshan for the taking.
I don't know why Zai jumped back in there. That was really questionable. He jumped him back in to try to get a solo kill onto Loda, who had cooldowns up and was half HP. And all he did was Burrow Strike and Sandstorm. That was kind of a throwaway kill, and they could just go for... They want racks, I guess. Because they know Zai... I believe Zai's buyback is on cooldown.
It is.
I mean, yeah, he just bought back not too long ago. Arteezy, he won't have buyback if he dies. They just get PPD. He's going to die again. Oh, my God. He does buy back immediately, though, so... They don't have an ulti from... No, he does. He has Refresher up.
Yep, but Loda has Refresher on call. Has picked up a Ghost Scepter as well, by the way. So being able to keep himself alive and standing. Chief concern.
I feel like Alliance should just go Roche. I don't know, just going high ground right now. It's kind of risky in my opinion. We'll see if they can do it.
Echo Stomp. Caught a couple. S4 was looking for a target. 14 seconds now until Lasso's back up. Rax being brought down. Arteezy a little lax to move in. There's the Hex, and he's going to go ahead and just try to right-click down Universe, doing what damage he can.
That's the end of Radiant's middle barracks.
And S4 now going to go in and caught Arteezy. Arteezy has BKB on the ready. There's the silence already up. And the Hex to follow it. That's GG. Oh, no, he actually managed to survive by some miracle. Thought he was going to drop. There's an Earth Splitter that caught 3. And now Mason re-engaging out. Here's Universe to help out as well. Loda using the Ghost Scepter and the Grave there to keep him alive. And they managed to get Universe once again. The rest of EG staying wisely inside of the base. I don't know how Arteezy survived. He was down to about 75 HP. and just managed to have enough time to get the BKB off and waveform away while morphing strength. And Alliance just didn't have the damage.
I think they got a little bit complacent. I think they just assumed he would be dead, and I think a couple people just weren't auto-attacking him fully all the way till death. But nonetheless, oh my god, like perfect 4-staff from S4 right before the Earth Splitter hit onto Loda. I was looking around and checking cooldowns from 4-staffs, and I believe S4 has one and Ake has one, but that's it. And yeah, that's it. And it wasn't Ake's because his was still off cooldown. S4 completely saved Loda right there. Was able to buy him some time. The Grave came out afterwards. Big support plays coming out from all of Alliance. Able to save their core, able to save their carry to fight another day. And they're going to try to fight around Roshan now.
Moving back into the pit. They got to bring the big boy down quickly. Loda, though, and this is what we had talked about before. The big weakness you have with a Silencer, Scepter or not, is when silence is down. Even if he is hitting like a truck, which admittedly he is right now, that is just such a big part of their game plan. S4 is going to move through, and oh, he actually got disrupted. Now EGM's in trouble. Here's Arteezy doing what damage he can, but Sai walking through with a fairly big epicenter, and Arteezy now back out. There's an Echo Stomp that actually got S4 and Loda both. Ghost Scepter going to be used to keep him alive for the moment. S4 dies in the meantime, and now Loda drops as well. And Ake has the Grave and head to the house. Nope, disruptions right on the money, and finished off by PPD's Shadow Demon. Loda buys back, has global silence up in 2 seconds. Refresh is ready in 30. And they're going to go back in. There's a big vacuum. Whoa, what a play! Bulldog, are you kidding me? The silence coming out from Loda as soon as he was up and ready. And I don't believe what we just witnessed. What should have been an easy Roshan turns into what could be the game-defining play of not just the game, but the series. What the hell?
I mean, it's a freak out moment, man. Like, I saw it, and it was really exciting, fantastically played. But again, they had the tools to do it. And if you're EG, that is a very scary place to fight. And a team against a global silence, Darkseer, Wallvac, and Batrider to give you the extra vision on the high ground. So at the same time, at one point it's like, oh my god, what a freaking play, and it was. But you know, at the same time, if you're EG, you're like, you almost have to kind of expect that because that's one of the strengths of Alliance is fighting around Roshan when your cooldowns and your cooldowns are up. Fantastically played. That's going to be double racks here.
That's probably going to be your ball game. As Glyph's going to be used. Zai is up. Can't do a whole lot by himself. He's still doing the Sand King dance. Still doing the old shimmy shake. There's going to be a burrow strike, and now he's hexed. Knocked back and lassoed back, Universe. There, but can't do a whole hell of a lot. Lotus steals a little bit more. And Earth Splitter kind of a forlorn hope. Buyback from Sai, not able to do a whole lot. Now they're going to try to re-engage, try to turn it around as best they can. There's the silence used once again. And S4's right there, doesn't have a lasso on the ready though. In the meantime, Loda using the Ghost Scepter, he's actually caught. There's going to be an epicenter. The damage though, getting to not feel as potent. Aegis popped off of it. EG, they timed it right. The arrow was actually there. There's another big vacuum, but no follow-up. Wall was a little late in the coming. Loda, though, kept alive by Ake. S4 still lacking his lasso. They managed to get Arteezy in the midst of all of it. Mason is down, and believe me, EG is down. What a phenomenal game out of Alliance. EGM and Ake have been on point, and that's understating it by a factor of 1,000. S4 there with another lasso. That'll be on to Mason, but they've got them farmed back to the wall. At this point, they brought down one set of racks in mid, ready to bring down the second set in bottom, and I am shocked at the way this game managed to turn out for Alliance. They have just played so well. Bulldog will be initiated on again. There's an arrow to follow it up. Hexo and the lift. Here comes S4 back into the fight, and another death as Loda continues to clean house.
That's gotta be GG. He just bought out. He just bought out. Down for the count for another 100 seconds. Rax is falling. Spells are cooling down, and yeah.
EGM had Echo Stomp, by the way, and blinked and stunned Universe and Sai with Echo Stomp right in front of their own well. This has just been a hell of a game for supports, and tell you what, Bulldog's a pretty good player. Pretty big play made by him in conjunction with S4 and Loda in particular. in the Roche pit that took this game from what looked to be a barn burner to now by the end, a game that has gone absolutely berserk. And we're going to have another epicenter, but a little bit too little, too late. It actually was stolen again. Earth Splitter's there. They're going to try to chase down Loda. They still can't track him down. RTZ back up as they try.
Epicenter by EGM.
There it is. PPD and RTZ eating all that damage. I'm a little surprised they're continuing to kite this out. Look at the creep wave at top, by the way.
Yeah.
Just massive, as they're going to end up losing their racks almost certainly to that alone. EG now moving back towards the well and just waiting on the GG calls now. Phenomenal play, man.
I mean, there's so many things you could say about the GGs. What a freaking game, man. Ends in just about an hour. And I have to say, I am thoroughly impressed with Alliance. Like, we both saw from the draft alone, I thought EG had this hands down. But this is really scary coming into not only the next game, but just next tournaments and series and whatnot, fighting against Alliance, because they have multiple tools under their belt.